All set? Okay, welcome to the Committee of Adjustment for April 26th, 2022. Call the meeting to order. We acknowledge that we are the traditional land of the Anishinaabe people. We wish to recognize the long history of Indigenous people in Canada and show our respect to them today. We realize their stewardship of the land. May we all live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship. Okay, on to the regular meeting. Could we have a motion to approve the agenda for tonight? A motion. Bill? Seconder? Robert? Any items of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof this evening? Seeing none. Could we have a motion to adopt the signing of the minutes as circulated? Brad? Seconder? Robert? Any business arising from those minutes? Okay, the statement of precedent for this evening. Any decision reached by this committee tonight cannot be used to set a precedent. Okay, moving on to our business. The purpose of these hearings is to give the committee and the public an opportunity to hear all interested persons with respect to the proposed applications and receive their input, and for the committee to make a decision on the application. All persons attending this hearing will be given an opportunity to be heard or make presentation. Committee members may ask questions for the purpose of clarifying the application, but are asked to withhold comments on this application until all present have been given an opportunity to be heard. Any person present who wishes to receive written notice of the decision made by this Committee of Adjustment is asked to give their name and mailing address to the Secretary Treasurer at this time. An appeal to the local planning appeal tribunal. Objection to the decision made in this hearing may be filed with the Secretary Treasurer within 2 weeks. No written notice, except as previously noted, will be given unless requested at this time. Okay, the first item on the agenda, item number 4.1, application for minor variance, A13-2022 by O'Malley Homes, affecting 45 Gilmar Crescent, described as Lot 12, Registered Plan 44M83. Hello, Adam. Could we have your report for this property?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair, members of committee. Good evening. I'm going to share screen and walk the committee through this application briefly. And I trust everybody can see the first page of the report.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the application at 45 Gilmer Crescent is for construction of a rear deck onto a single detached dwelling. And the owners are, or the applicant is requesting a reduction in the rear yard setback. The applicable setback is 7.5 meters. And this, the deck would have a rear yard setback of 5.5 meters, which requires a variance of 2 meters or 6.5 feet. And I'm just going to walk through a few graphics here. So the subject property is here outlined in blue. It's right at the end of Gilmer. And as you can see, it backs onto the golf course here. And there is a bit of a wooded area here. And there's an unopened road allowance directly behind the property with a drain. The lot fabric is a little bit skewed from the air photo. But this just demonstrates the general location and what is surrounding this property. And on the site sketch, this was submitted by O'Malley Homes on behalf of K-Smart. And so here's the dwelling, and the rear yard setback, in this case, the dimension string shows 5.5 meters, and that's to the outside edge of this deck. One thing during our review that I noted is that the house itself and the covered porch do meet the rear yard setback. That structure is 8.68 meters back. So they're asking for 6.5 feet encroachment into the rear yard for basically a just over 100 square foot deck on the upper level, I believe it is. So I'll stop sharing. So staff have reviewed the application against the 4 tests of variance, and we are recommending approval of the application for the reasons that are outlined in the staff report. And I would be happy to answer any questions the committee may have. Thank you.
Okay, any questions from the committee?
Just one.
Yes, Brad, go ahead.
I guess Adam or Ed, I just wonder if the applicant is the only reason they're asking for relief because it kind of wasn't planned ahead that they were going to put a deck in? Like what? Why can't they just do something different?
I can maybe embellish on that a bit. Those houses, they have a walkout basements, in my understanding. So this deck will be probably up in the 2nd story. Just for clarification, in our zoning bylaw, if a deck is less than 2 feet in height from grade, it's allowed to encroach 3 meters into the required setback, which it could encroach to 5.5 meters instead of 7.5. No, actually more than that. 3 meters into the required setback. If it's between 2 feet and 4 feet, it can encroach 1.5 meters into required setback. If it's over 4 feet, you can't encroach at all, which is kind of, doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but it's just the nature of the lot, I guess, and to meet all the setbacks, like the front yard setback and, to place the house on the envelope. I guess whoever they sold the house to had a desire to have a deck extend into that rear yard setback. So, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but it's just, I'm assuming it's a house that's pre-sold, or not a spec house, but it's pre-sold.
Okay, thanks, Ed. Any other questions?
I think Mr. O'Malley's on the line too.
Okay.
That might help.
Yep, I can just comment to that.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, request of the purchasers, and like sort of had explained, it's something similar to if that house had been built on 75% of those lots in that phase, this wouldn't have been an issue. Like we could have encroached based on the bylaw, but just due to it being a walkout versus, a flat lot, caused this variance to be needed. So it's not something that, other homeowners couldn't do as well. A lot of them, and a lot of those lots, we could do it without this variance, just this sort of quirky little bylaw on these walkout lots with higher grades doesn't allow for that. So we're just applying to allow for similar provisions for most of the other properties in that subdivision.
So is this going to be a sort of a standard application for the lots that on that side of the street?
No,
No.
not all. Some of the grades are different. A lot of them aren't as much as grades, so some it won't need it. But no, it won't be a standard.
Okay, thank you. No one present who wishes to oppose this application in any way? Hearing none. Is there anyone present who wishes to speak in support of the application? Okay, any other questions from the committee? Are we ready for a motion?
I'll motion to approve.
Robert,
I'll second.
seconded by Bill. All in favor? Carried. Okay, thank you, everyone. Moving on to 4.2, an application for a minor variance, A14-2022 by Scott and Shannon Gibson, affecting 8687 Road 175, described as Concession 4, Part Lot 18, in the Wallace Ward of North Perth. And we will call on Adam again for a description of this one.
Thanks again, Mr. Chair. To committee, I will share my screen again and walk committee briefly through the application. And again, I trust everybody can see the title page of the report.
That's correct.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. So the applicant's proposing to construct a 2,700 square foot 3-bay garage, and they are requesting variance to 513D. Maximum accessory structure height is 4.5 meters to the midpoint of the roof. And this roof would have a midpoint height of 6.1 meters, requiring variance of 1.6 meters or 5.2 feet. And the reason for the variance is that the owner has a recreational vehicle, and they require a 14-foot garage door, which brings up the height of the structure correspondingly. And I will walk committee through a few graphics. So the subject property is here outlined in blue. This photo is from a few years ago. The foundation is in, and I believe this property is also developed as well with a single detached dwelling. And just of note, the lands to the east and to the south are open farm fields, and they are relatively large lots. Generally, the houses on each side of 175 have garages in the back, and the lots up here on 88 are typically up closer to the road. And the site sketch submitted with the application just shows the RV, the detached garage back here in the back. We'll call it the northeast corner of the lot. And this is a elevation sketch just showing the midpoint height with the 14-foot doors. This is the lot grading plan that was submitted with the building permit, again, just showing the existing development in relation to the neighbors. And this is a email from the neighbor to the north, Brian Lane. So he lives just north of the subject lands in this dwelling, and he is in full support of the garage height addition. And just some photos for committee's context. So the garage would go here at the end of the laneway, and the neighboring dwellings on 88 are up here. There is good spatial separation distance-wise between the houses, and there is some tree cover behind those houses on 88 that will help to buffer any of the height increase. And again, just showing the dwelling on the subject lands. And one thing to note is that this will be a single-story garage. It'll be significantly lesser in height than the existing 2-story dwelling on the property. So again, staff have reviewed the application against the 4 tests and recommend approval of the application. And I would be happy to answer any questions committee may have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Adam. Anyone present who wishes to speak in opposition to this application? Obviously not. Anyone present who wishes to support the application? Okay. Any questions from the committee? No questions? Do we have a motion to approve this?
I believe the applicant is online too, Bruce.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Gibson, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Anything you would like to add?
No, I think you guys covered it well.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready for motion.
Motion to approve.
Bill? Second by Brad? Okay, the motion is that we approve the application for minor variance A14-2022 by Scott and Shannon Gibson affecting 8687 Road 175, described as Concession 4, part lot 48. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. Okay, do we have any other business this evening? Anything else, Ed?
No, nothing.
No? No correspondence? Okay, we will accept a motion to adjourn. Robert, second by Bill, that we adjourn this meeting at 7:16.